Good morning, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Jessica Payne Live. I am your host, Jessica Payne. How is everybody doing today? Looks like we already have some folks joining us, which is fantabulous. Who do we have? We've got John Laveria. Awesome. How's it going, John? Welcome to my show. This is what gets me up on Tuesdays, this and coffee. We also have Jamie, we have Teresa, all of my friends here. Welcome. Today we are talking about a subject that maybe some of you have been thinking about. And it's about, I call it pruning. If you run your own business, or maybe you've been volunteering somewhere, anytime we decide to put our time and energy into something, so whether it's our job or maybe something with family, raise your hand if at some point you have to kind of look back and assess. Typically what triggers this for me is when I'm overwhelmed or I'm over capacity, and I start to take a look back and just look at all of my commitments, or in business, I start to, check in and see how I'm doing selling some of my products or services. So that's kind of what prompted today's show. It's all about, I call it pruning, but basically, that situation you're in where you might have to let go of something maybe you really care about. And for the purpose of today's show, we can talk about business, but if you want to bring anything up, I was hoping some of you actually would share your stories today. Have you ever had to let go of something in your business? Maybe something you've put a lot of effort into, maybe something that's been going gangbusters, but you're just sort of done or you're over it, and make the switch. Because I think that, had I heard about that earlier in my business, I would have been a little bit more prepared to do it. It's really hard for me to let go of things I care about. But if there's one big lesson I've learned in business, it's that this is kind of part of the natural evolution of a business. It's to take a look at a service or a product and be like, you know what, it's been a good run, but I need to shift. So that's kind of the spirit of today's show for the next half hour. I would love to hear from some of you if you've done any of this. I've got a couple examples I can share with you, but that's really it. It kind of stems off of one of my most popular shows this year was when I talked about saying no in business, and it's kind of the same spirit. So if you guys are taking a look at the rest of the year, maybe trying to assess what's working, maybe trying to assess what you need to dial up for your business, what a better time to talk about this sort of checking in. So I would love it if you would share your stuff. And Teresa already coming in. Let me quickly say hi to everyone. Welcome. If you're watching on the replay, sit down. Thank you very much for watching. If you're listening over the podcast, I love it. We've got some great numbers over there. And on YouTube, thanks so much. So thanks, everyone. Teresa saying, good morning. Hello. RJ, hello. I know both of you maybe have felt this. I'm dying to hear from both of you in terms of does this resonate with you? How have you walked yourself through that whole idea of recognizing something no longer serves you, or maybe it's hit its stride, it's done, and then walk me through how you made that decision to kind of let it go, and did that free you up to do something else for your business? Teresa's saying, this is something I've been struggling with over the past few months. Cool. I'd love to hear more about it, Teresa. I've had to let go of leaning on other people's direction, shifting to lean on my own voice. That's a big one, actually. Yeah. People love to give feedback, don't they? Yeah. And they usually couch it in a way that they care. And I like to hold space for people like that. I think for most people who perhaps don't recognize or aren't really close to what you're working on or doing, but love to give advice, are doing one of two things. Either they really, really do care, and they at the end of the day, it's coming from a good place and they want you to be happy, or they're projecting their own fears onto you. So pick one of those. People love to give their advice and their vision. And I have to be conscious of that because people hire me to give my advice. However, I try to be as transparent as possible. I think what you're getting at, Teresa, though, is other people who don't necessarily have a hand in your business or giving advice. Yeah. So today we're talking about letting go. We're talking about recognizing when something doesn't serve your business and finally kind of kicking the dinghy out into the water and letting it go. You might be wondering what what helps me make that decision? Let's say you're trying something new in business. I know a lot of you guys do this. We're constantly launching things, we're promoting things, and sometimes they just take off like gangbusters. Sometimes they do well. I had someone ask me the other day, how long should I try to sell something or promote something before I kind of make a decision whether or not to shift gears? Like, especially, let's raise your hand if you've launched something and it's not going well. A product, a course, maybe you've opened a workshop or something like that. I would say, and this is my own personal opinion, give it at least 6 months to catch fire. What I've learned is that things take time. Even those people who are really successful, YouTube creators, webinar kings and queens, everyone we see constantly in our feeds promoting like record numbers, they all start at zero, as Roberto Blake likes to say, and none of this happens overnight. And this can be really frustrating, especially when you're starting your business at the very top. Like, we put so much blood, sweat, and tears and money sometimes into a promotion, and then we just have to kind of wait. So when you're planning your next big thing, maybe you're planning your holiday promotions, which are kind of the big thing right now for everybody. If you're planning your holiday promotions or gearing up for November, December holiday, maybe some of you are going to be doing some New Year's stuff. Maybe this has nothing to do with business. Maybe just you are committing to volunteering or helping the holiday, helping your family over the next couple months. Same rules apply, I think, in commitments. But for business, I would say give it at least 6 months, and then go from there. Does that resonate with anybody? Give it a year if you can, but a good 6 months. If you've launched something, you've given it 6 months, and you've tried to promote it 3 or 4 different ways, and it's not working, hit pause. Take a look at what you're trying to sell. Maybe, again, it's a course or a webinar or a product, or maybe you have a pop-up shop, you have a boutique in a store. Take a look at how you're selling it, what you're doing, and after 6 months, if it's not working, I think then is safe to actually hit pause and stop and actually do 1 or 2 things. Let it go and move on, or see if you can deliver it in a different way. See if you can wrap it up in a different format. And here's why I think that's important. Because if you're like me, sometimes when you're done with something, you're done. And our instinct is just to walk away, or we just put it on the shelf and we like shut that closet door. It's like the closet in the house where like you have all your crap piled in and you're like, if I open that door, those are all my ideas. Like, if I open that door, like the vacuum and the lamp and all my antiques are going to kill me. It's like all my ideas and my lost misfit toys of ideas are going to kill me. They're going to come out of the closet. Don't necessarily walk away from something. Hit pause and let it marinate for a bit, but you might just have to repackage it in a different way. And I'll give you an example in a minute. Teresa is saying, I was actually talking about coaches and listening to other people's visions. I started this process with a vision where I wanted to go, and in the process of learning from other experts to figure out how to get to where I wanted to be. My vision got lost and started to look more like other people's visions and nothing like my original vision. This is really important. Yeah. As a coach, I'm listening. I think, yeah, if you ask people for their opinion in their counsel, they'll give it. So ways you can protect yourself from that are sort of listen with a semi-detached ear. You'll know in your gut, I think, what resonates. That's why I think coaches, it's really important that you have a chemistry, because I think like any relationship, when you have kind of like a fitness coach too, the person could be the perfect embodiment of what an ideal coach is. But if you don't have that shorthand, if you don't have that chemistry, if you don't feel like that person's kind of dancing around in your brain or can actually meet you halfway in your vision, they could very innocently be steering you into their vision and not yours. But I'm glad, the important thing is that you recognize it, because a lot of people don't. And they spend a lot of time and money basically creating something someone else has envisioned for them. That's really important to share. I'm glad you shared it. RJ, what about you? I know you're a business guru. We have a cat drive by in a minute. So here's an example. I I've launched a few courses over the course of my business. I've done a few workshops. I've done a few webinars. And what I have found is I always let them sit and cook and I promote them. But here's a funny thing, and this only happened because I actually forced myself to sit down. I talked about my wellness quiz a couple weeks ago. Like, now's the time to sit down and look at your business model. It's really boring, but it's really important. Like, look at it from a 30,000 foot level. Take out a sheet of paper, draw 2 columns, and write the question, is this serving me? Or you can write, is this making me money? But I'd rather you come from a place of, is it serving you? Because that implies it's actually fulfilling too. Let's hope. Yes column, no column, and write down every single one of your product or services that you are selling. Everything in the yes column, that's where you want to double down because they're serving you. Ideally, they're fulfilling you and they're making you money. So they're hitting your bottom line. You can do this in life too, by the way. Your commitments, is it serving you? Your relationships, is it serving you? Everything in the no column, you're going to want to take a look. Filling out the yes column is going to be pretty short and easy. You really don't need to do anything there. Then probably strategize at how you can double down and do better there. The no column is really where you're going to have your come to Jesus meeting because you really have to be brave. And this is where it's going to separate you from actually making a change and not. Recognizing when something isn't serving you. I love this product, but I can't sell it. Nobody wants it. Or I've tried to sell it 3 different ways. Or it's just not working online. Or maybe it's just not working in person. There's not enough people in my area. Like, write it in, no, circle it, and then I want you to sit with each of those and try to assess why it's not working. Now, if you've just launched something, that's why I say give it a good 6 months. After 6 months to a year of something not working, you'll probably know maybe why. Feedback is always a good thing. And then I want you to take a look at, rather than just putting those products or services on the shelf for your business, maybe they just have to be presented a different way. So for example, one of my online courses, I'm now offering as an add-on to my agency partners. I'm actually offering as an in-person workshop versus an online workshop. And this new modality is something I actually enjoy doing more because I'm already offering it as workshops. But it's funny because if you look at it on paper, it's almost like, well, it's not as fulfilling doing this online. I love giving these workshops in person. Why don't I offer this in person and see if it'll actually serve my business? So instead of just like putting it on the shelf and being like, online isn't really serving me, it's not enjoyable, and walking away from it, I'm just repackaging it. So take a look at things not supporting your business at the moment and just see if you just need to repackage it in a different way. If it's online, do it in person. If it's in person, see if you can supplement that online. Can you break it up into little pieces? Maybe what you're doing is too long-winded for your audience. Can you break it up into mini workshops or keynote speeches or an ebook? Sometimes just slicing and dicing what you've already created is turns it into a product people actually want. I think this is like the innovative part of like a small business, is where you actually play with what you've already created, because chances are it's really good stuff. You just have to kind of tailor it to what your audience wants. But that means making a change, and change is scary. Does this all make sense? If you're just joining us now, we're talking about letting go of what doesn't serve you in your business, but although you could probably apply it to life. What else? Teresa's saying, it's just not working online. Man, I've said this a lot this year. Yeah, and Teresa, you and I both know that. So you're a great example. Taking it offline is probably repackaging it. You're not reinventing what you're doing. You're a badass. You're a teacher. You know what you're doing. You're professional. People trust you. It's just changing the wrapping paper. You know, rather than online is going to serve you, but we all know it's not your only. You know, social media is just one part of your mix. For teaching or for guidance or for counsel, being in person is always the best. So yeah, just change the wrapping paper. Rather than just have everything online, see if you can do some in-person workshops. RJ, love the variety of things to offer. No need to reinvent the wheel, just recreate the package. Yeah, RJ, you guys is really good at this. You're just like a badass at just like being crystal clear on what you offer, which I like, and you offer different things. So you guys check out RJ's site. Just click on her profile and you go to her site, Black Belt Bots. if you want a good example of like products and services just outlined in a really friendly, gentle, fun way, RJ's got it. And she makes a damn good landing page. Hello. RJ, have you ever had to do any of this? Let go of something? Or start something, relaunch something? We can call this a relaunch if you guys like. We're just like, it's almost like regifting, rewrapping in a way. Teresa's saying you helped me take it offline, and man, did it feel so much better. Oh, thanks. I love it. Take it offline. That should be a title of a book or something. Take it offline, because of the double meaning. Love it. To know I helped you, Teresa, is like that made my day. Like, I just want to help people, so thank you. Hello from Florida. What's going on, Christy? Are you safe? There's a hurricane headed your way. What is the latest, man? Is it going above you? Everyone on the East Coast in the US, by the way, I hope you're safe. I've got some friends who definitely had to evacuate. Got a big storm coming. I hope everything's okay. RJ's saying, it really helped me when I chose a niche instead of trying to be everything to everyone. Oh, RJ, can we talk about that? God, that could be our show next week. Yeah, that's what this is. It's all about pruning, right? Everyone will tell you, like, go vertical, find your niche, like find your specialty, which is tough. Like, especially if you didn't go to business school and everything here is self-taught. But over time, and this is what we're talking about, as your business evolves, what you sell is going to evolve with it. Making this decision, making this choice of what to prune, what to rewrap, what to repackage, I think this will like never go away. That's what I'm learning. And so I'm learning not to be too attached to the final product of something. Because at the end of the day, if something's fulfilling you and making you money, who cares what it looks like? As long as you enjoy it, right? Rewrapping it. But I think the point is, me personally, we get so wrapped up into like, I put so much energy into this thing. Why won't it work? When really just kind of flipping the script a little allows you to still use the same content that you've been working so hard to do. Sometimes you can just let it sit on a shelf for 3 months and all of a sudden the demand will come back. But think about changing the DNA of it. It made me a better business person. That's the goal. I've had to let go of a lot of things too. Most of this is just self-management, you guys. We are safe, yes, going above. Good. I'm glad. I hope all is well there in Florida, you guys. Batten down the hatches, as they say. I'm glad it's skirting you guys. It looks like a whopper. Gosh. Between fires and hurricanes, and it's crazy right now. But I'm glad you guys are cool. Have you ever had to say no to a piece of your business? Have you ever had to let it go? Pruning. Partnerships. This is another area where you might have had to say no. It's tough because then you get more of the human relationship in there. Have you ever partnered with someone or maybe committed to something for your business where you kind of you get a foot in the door and you realize it's not great, or maybe you're just really far down the line and maybe you discover that the partnership isn't exactly what you thought it would be. Maybe you're spending just way too much time. These are all red flags. But again, if you're putting your heart and your soul into something and maybe you really like the person, this can be a tough one to say no to, because you kind of have to, instead of saying no or saying, hey, I need to hit pause on this product, you actually have another person involved. Any of you have to do that before? Partnerships? When I say partnerships, I mean co-hosts. Maybe you're selling a webinar together. Maybe you're running a course together. Yeah. Sometimes these decisions are really easy to make when the partnership isn't working out, but sometimes they're really difficult because you know the person, maybe it's really fulfilling to them, all these tough choices. Other partnership opportunities, maybe you had a speaking engagement, maybe you were doing a conference together, stuff like that. Saying no, letting go is sort of the theme of this. But again, ultimately, all of this is going to serve you. It doesn't mean you have to say no to everything. It just means, hey, is there an opportunity to check in and repackage? So this will kind of hopefully help you guys. Christy's saying, seems like it's going to be a busy season already, so best thing to be prepared. You know, I'm wild, so don't mind playing in hurricane weather. Love you, girl. I do not doubt that. You're probably just lassoing the hurricane and just pulling it around at the moment. I don't doubt that at all. Yeah, you're just like my mom. What's with you guys in like storms? I am like inside under the bed at the first notion of maybe lightning. I bet you're just out there standing on the roof, like what's that scene in Forrest Gump where the captain's up and he's just like screaming at the storm? I feel like that too. You're like, come on. Awesome. I love it. Saying no to what is serving you and repackaging. Why the heck do I bring this up? Well, again, we're a little past the midpoint of the year, but if you haven't done it already, now is the time to, if you can, take a moment. This is the lull between summer's kind of coming to an end, back to school is full swing, and then we're just going to go bam into the holiday season. People always lie. They're like, things slow down, things don't. And if you know, and if you're already kind of going gangbusters on planning for the rest of the year, why don't you take an extra couple minutes and actually sit down and look at what you actually need to hit pause on? Because a benefit of that is all of a sudden you might have a lot more free time. Rather than trying to push a boulder up a hill, you can double down on maybe what you want to focus on. And again, at the end of the day, if that makes your business more successful in the next couple months, you can finish the year strong, then that's one good reason for this practice. Another thing you can do is, quick plug, is to take my social media wellness quiz, which I'm going to link to in the comments. It's from my blog. You don't have to download anything. Basically, it's designed as like a mid-year check-in, but you can do this any time of year. It's 10 questions, 20 minutes. It's an exercise you can do. Print it out if you want. Go through the questions, and it's going to help you quickly assess where you're at least on the social media side. And maybe you'll actually get one of these, is it serving me, is it not serving me, light bulbs that come on. But it's a check-in. I call it a wellness quiz. Ideally, you'll walk away with a little bit more clarity on what you should focus on for the rest of the year and maybe what you should just like hit pause on. And if that saves you time, then I've done my job. If it gives you a little bit of clarity, I've done my job. So I'll put that link in the comments as we wrap up. But that is something I would recommend you do. I know a couple of you have actually done it, which is great. And in that same blog post, if you want, you can download my my 5 steps, which I've talked about on the show before. If you're like ready to go further and want to actually build more of a strategy, a roadmap, you can download my free 5-step social media strategy formula. So it's kind of a two-in-one thing. But basically, so I created that blog post and that offering after getting feedback from other people. I was presenting both of those in different arenas. So here's a literal translation of like, oh hey, like repackaging something. People kept asking me for both of those things. Hey, do you have a roadmap? Hey, how do I quickly assess what I'm doing in social media? And I was like, why don't I just package this together in a blog post and just start to point you guys to it? Because it saves me time, but it also hopefully is helpful for you guys. So there's a literal reason why it's good to assess what's going on in your business. How does that sound, you guys? Gosh, this could be applied in so many different ways. Relationships, life. I read a statistic the other day that says the holiday season, which is coming up, more like anxiety levels rise, which probably makes people chuckle because we all know it's true, but holidays are stressful for a reason. And a lot of it is because we overcommit ourselves. So I'm begging you, your time is valuable and precious. Don't overcommit yourself, at least in your day job, because you can't really say no to grandma, but you can say no. This should be like the top of my lecture. You can't say no to grandma, but you can say no to a product or service that is taking up way too much of your time or isn't serving you, right? And the whole idea now, this is like my theme right now is discernment. It's like, say no, give yourself free time, double down on what's serving you, trying to be more creative and trying to create more of a fulfilling business funnel. Christy is saying, LOL, that would be me. Love it. I made honor roll, which is funny itself. So I've been busy with school. Oh, that's right. You went back to school. Aw, congrats. Guys, you give Christy a round of applause and a shout out. Just going back to school. What are you studying? Would you mind sharing that? That is awesome, man. Talk about commitment. Now that is awesome. I'm guessing at some point you did a little self-assessment and maybe you recognized that you had to make a choice and you enrolled in school. No easy feat. So congrats. Honor roll. Dang. That's got to feel good. No matter how old you are, making honor roll. I was such a big nerd in school. I would have been jealous of that for sure. But you deserve it. Honor roll. Yay. How do you make honor roll? Is that like perfect GPA, perfect attendance? Cool. I hope you printed it out and put it on your fridge. Love listening to you. You're amazing and do so much for others. I look up to you and pray one day I can make as much as thanks, Christy. I appreciate that. Pray as I can make as much as a difference for others as you do. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And that's it. That's all I can say for that. Kind of left me speechless. That is my show. Bye. So fulfillment, comments like these warm my heart. This is why I wake up at God's hour on a Tuesday to go live, because not that I'm seeking praise, but to hopefully help people, and you keep me coming back. So thanks, Christy. I appreciate that. We're coming up on my year anniversary of like fully committing to going live, which is crazy. I'm thinking of doing a show. How do I celebrate? I don't know. Would you guys want to celebrate? I've been doing my live show for pretty much a year. I think, is it this week? Yeah, September. Yeah. Full time. I've only missed a few weeks here or there. It's been crazy. Talk about a time commitment. And I've thought about whether I've assessed my show before. Is my show serving me? And it always falls in the yes column because of comments like that, because of the feedback you guys have given me. So if you're thinking about doing a live show, it has a lot of rewards. For me, I like it because it allows me to get beyond Los Angeles virtually. It's connected me with a lot of kindred spirits. Certainly clients for my business, but it kind of, for me, I like it because it keeps one foot in reality. Like you guys have shared feedback with me that I've taken immediately back to my business and been like, I can't say this, or this needs to change because people don't want it, or I need to talk more about this because people need help here. So I think it's a win-win maybe. Live show, check it out. You should consider your own show. I know a couple of you actually have one. Teresa's saying, congrats on honor roll. I was a crappy student through high school. Once I chose to go to college, I made honor roll. I felt so good. Soak it up, Christy. Love it. Nothing better when women support other women. Dang it. That's what I'm here for. I'm here all day for it. Using my post 9/11 GI Bill for computer animation and graphics. Oh, wicked. Yep. Keep me posted on that, Christy, because I'm always working with graphic designers and I haven't dabbled in the computer animation. Very cool. We didn't even have like computer animation and graphics when I went to college. I'm young, but not that young. And now high schoolers are learning how to code, and it's insane. It's incredible what people can do. Teresa says, I started to go live, but once I found podcasting, I was hooked. I just need to figure out a way to pull people into the conversation. That's a great example, Teresa. So here's another thing. Maybe you have started something like a show. It would have been so easy, right, Teresa, for you to be like, but I've started my show. Like, I should probably just stick with that. Like, and then you started podcasting and you recognize that maybe you actually liked something more. There's nothing wrong with cutting bait and doubling down on something you love. You don't have to wait 6 months. If you already know you enjoy something more and it just comes more naturally to you, especially on the content creation side, because it's hard enough for us to actually get our butts in the seats to do it. Do what Teresa did and just embrace a new platform. I was glad to watch that from the sidelines in real time. I love podcasting too. This show is actually a podcast, you guys. If you're curious how to do that, I think I did a show not too long ago about repurposing content. You can actually find that here on the page, or let me see if I can link to it in the comments. But yeah, I've set up a system I've had Hanimura on here. He's created an app called repurpose.io, and that actually repurposes, it repackages every live show I do into my podcast automatically. Game changer. So yeah, I actually do have a podcast. Subscribe if you want. I'm starting to listen to more podcasts in the car and on my runs and stuff. It's like my new obsession. I like to talk. What can I say? Ha ha ha. Good. But you also teach too. So it's like, I think podcasting is kind of perfect for you. But again, it's all about testing. It's all about seeing what serves you and saying yes and saying no. That's all this is. Guys, let me see while I do this, if I can get my wellness quiz up for you all. Any last minute lessons to share? Again, we've talked about taking a minute, recognizing when things no longer serve you for your business, and maybe letting go. On the flip side, it's recognizing maybe when things actually, things come out of left field sometimes that you actually love. It's okay to embrace them, but I think at some point you always need to kind of check in for that. Here is my link to my social media wellness quiz. Let me fire that off to you guys right now in the comments. Any other questions, you guys? I'm going to jump over quickly to Instagram and do my highlight reel there. Oh, I want to read these comments. I love these love notes. Teresa, thank you. And if you knew me in grade school, I never made honor roll. I'm almost 50 and going back was not easy. Being up till 2 a.m. doing homework is a reality check. Dang, girl. Props. Mad respect to you, man. That's awesome. But you're right on time, as they say, right? Because you're looking at it from 50 years of experience versus 18, 20, you know? Although 2 a.m. when you're 50 versus 20, 21 is different. Yeah, you really feel that in the morning, I bet. Just more coffee. Awesome. It will all be worth it, Christy. I love it. You guys should link up outside. You sound like two high school rebels, basically. Were you guys like causing trouble in high school? I feel like it would have been like, here comes Teresa and Christy. Like you would have had like those grease pink lady jackets or something. You guys were little troublemakers. I love it. Meanwhile, I was the nerd. Awesome. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to honor the 30-minute rule and let you bounce. Again, I've put a link to my my social media wellness quiz. I'm going to dig and find that podcast if I can on repurposing content in case you're curious about it. But again, all of this is just like, take a minute. I'm going to challenge you over the next week, if you haven't already, take 20 minutes, assess, draw that yes and no column, write the question at the top of your piece of paper. And I do write this down, like get off your computer and do it. Is this serving me? Is this serving my business? Right? Yes column, no column. You're going to know what serves you immediately from yes, because it's either making you money and happy or ideally both. Or maybe money isn't part of it. Maybe it's fulfilling. In the no column, be brave. Admit when something's not working, and then take a minute and really assess those. Can you still offer that, but just maybe explore offering it in a different way? You've already done all that work, or is it really not serving you? Do you really just need to put it on the shelf for a while? And while that exercise can be wicked stressful, I can't tell you how great it is to suddenly like have free time, or just to like how freeing it is to actually let something go. You will reap the benefits of that. Even if it's just more time for your brain in the day, you'll find you'll quickly fill that with just like ideas. And let me know like what you guys let go of. And if you are struggling to see if something's working or not, shoot me a DM, because I'm pretty sure I know most of your businesses. If you need help kind of like having a come to Jesus moment, I'm happy to probe and ask you really strong questions. Cool? Awesome. From a wheelchair, people. Hell yeah. Christy, LOL. I was known for running people down in the halls. Oh my God. That visual. I bet you had like flames on the side. It would be all worth it, Christy. You guys definitely, Christy, Teresa, link up outside of this. I think you guys share a lot in common. You're just both badass women too. But yeah, definitely the pink ladies. I would have avoided you with my nerd self for sure, because I wouldn't have been as cool as either of you. For sure. Christy saying, laughing, I was on a yearbook staff as the photographer, so was busy even during school hours. Everyone wanted their picture taken, so didn't run down halls, more like avoiding the halls. Yeah. Oh, you're on the yearbook staff? That's what the cool kids did at my school for sure. Awesome. Maybe we just do a show about high school. I will set it up and I will sit back. I would rather not talk about high school. Again, because I was a big old dork. That movie Glee, very close to my heart. I was in choir. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. Hopefully this will help you assess and prune. Now is the time to do it, so that you can really set yourself up to success in the new year. So rather than just start to, get invaded with all the ideas of other people, Teresa, hang strong, listen to other advice. But really, now that you recognize that a lot of it doesn't serve you, you can listen with a detached ear too. Pick out what resonates and let the rest go, right? That's medicine I should take. Have a great day, you guys. Have a great week. Be safe on the East Coast. And I will see you guys next week. If you have ideas for the show coming up, I've pretty much worked through probably like half of my list of ideas. If you have a list, or if you have an idea for the show you really want me to tackle, maybe it's holiday ideas, like maybe it's workshopping one of these shifts in what you offer. I really want to make these as tactical and practical for you guys as much as possible. So if you have an idea, to DM me or email me. I know most of you guys privately as well. So, but let me know. So if you're listening on the podcast, make sure, or watching on YouTube, make sure you hit like and subscribe. If you guys haven't jumped over to any of my other channels yet, please do. Instagram, I'm really trying to build a following there, but also on the podcast. Give it a listen. Cool beans? All right, you guys, have a great week. Thanks for watching Jessica Payne Live. I'll be back next week, ideally with one of your ideas. All right? Bye, guys. Bye, Teresa. Bye, Christy. Bye, John. Bye, RJ. Bye, Jamie. Who else is here? Oh, hi, Reenie. Reenie was here. I missed her. Bye, Reenie. Hi, Reenie. I think that's everyone. Cool. All right, dudes. See you next week.